Stick with me as we discuss why us? Why are some people suffering from the Mandela effect and not others? First off, if you don't know what the Mandela effect is, this video is going to sound crazy. So just look in the description and there'll be a link to a video that kind of introduces that topic. Now, for the rest of you guys, you're here because you already know what it is. And you're wondering, why us? As in, it seems that some people are experiencing this, but a lot of friends and family are not. There's even tales of people where one spouse gets it and the other doesn't, and now it's creating a bunch of conflict. Or somebody in the family feels this and knows it's real, but then the rest of the family thinks they're crazy. And you're going to see this a lot with your friends too. And honestly, as a liberty activist, I've gone through this my whole life. Every time, sometimes being on the side of liberty alienates you with like 90% of the population that just goes along with whatever diktat the government throws out there. So I'm already kind of used to this. And what I call it is a reshuffling of friends that you get every so often. You will purge and you'll let some friends go that you've had your whole life. But what's great is you'll find like 10 new internet friends that you have almost everything in common with. So yeah, that part stinks, that sometimes you got to let people go and let those destructive relationships out of your life. But other times what's great is you get all these new cool people you meet. And the online communities can be awesome. So that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a YouTube poll. Now, I don't know if you knew this or not, but you can actually take polls on YouTube. And what will happen is you will see a little bar appear when I say these questions, and you can get like a live time poll. You'll go up and click an answer. And why I'm doing this is I'm trying to figure out if we have something in common. Like, why is this happening to us? There's some sort of common thread. So I'm going to just ask 5 questions this time, and I'm going to take the most common ones that we are seeing kind of in the forums and Facebook groups. So let's start up. First, let's start off with the first question. You'll see a little tab appearing, and if you click that, a little drop down will come out. So follow along with me. What are your spiritual beliefs? Are you religious? What I mean by that is, do you belong to some sort of organized religion? Are you spiritual? Someone who believes in spirituality but wouldn't label themselves as any sort of religious group. Agnostic means you don't really know what's out there. You don't have any idea. You think something's out there, but you don't know what. Or atheist, where you don't believe anything's out there. This one life is all you got. So please choose one. And let's move to the next common thing that seems to be popping up. Do you consider yourself an empath? In other words, paranormal ability to apprehend the mental or emotional state of another individual. So do you consider yourself empathic? It seems to be coming up a lot that this is affecting people who call themselves empaths. So here are your choices. It's going to pop up. You're going to see always. Have you always been empath? Only after the Mandela effect? Or never at all? Have you never considered yourself an empath? And again, what I mean by that is some examples in real life. Or you're the kind of person that'll like put a bug outside, or a spider's in your house and you'll move them out. That you don't want to kill anything, or you can really feel other people's emotions and how upset they are. That's kind of what I mean by an empath. Let's go to the third most common thing that's going on. What I'm seeing online is a lot of people are talking about how their brains are not working right. They feel like their brains are lagging, or now they have dyslexia, or maybe they had it before. So I'm going to kind of address this question. Which of the following most describes your brain? Eidetic memory, Do you have the ability to recall images with vividness, bordering on actual perception? Are you OCD, obsessive compulsive? Are you detail and obsessed thoughts and behaviors? Do you consider yourself kind of a touch on the OCD side? Are you learning disabled, or ED, emotional disturbed? In other words, like, are you dyslexic, autistic, Asperger's? Somewhere in that realm is something not quite wired 100% right in your brain. Are you more than one of these choices? Do you feel like, oh yeah, I'm OCD and I'm dyslexic, but I also have an awesome memory, So are you all of the above? Some people on the forums and stuff are all these, or none of these above. Has none of this ever affected you, and your brain's pretty much the same as it was? Let's talk about number 4. Do you have a skepticism or distrust of the government or authority figures? In other words, are you kind of the person that woke up that you're pretty anti-authority, or maybe this has happened recently? So look at the pop-up here, and this will give you a better idea. Like, are you kind of the person who has always distrusted authority or government? You think something, conspiracies going on, or you just don't like them, or you don't like people telling you what to do in your life? You kind of always been that way? Maybe you woke up within the last 5 years, that the last 5 years you kind of became that person, or only after the Mandela Effect did this just start happening, where you're like, yeah, I don't really trust what I'm being told anymore? Or has it not affected you at all? None of the above. The last thing that I want to bring up, and this is kind of just more out of curiosity, is I'm curious if what people's chemistry of their bodies, if what they're putting in their bodies is affecting their reality. So in other words, click this tab here, what best describes your diet? Do you live on just pretty much junk food and processed food? Are you a carnivore? Are you a big meat eater? Are you a vegetarian where you still eat, dairy and cheese and stuff? Or are you straight up vegan where you're pretty much on a plant-based diet and that's all you eat? I bring this up because I'm curious to see what's going on with that, and we'll talk about this in another video after I see enough of these results. This is one other bonus, and there's no poll for this one, but if you want to comment if this has happened to you below. Some people have been saying on my videos that they had a close call with death in the last few months. Like they have a vivid memory of almost dying or something almost dying. Do you have a memory of almost dying or having a close call with death in the last few months? Comment below if that is the case. Now here's what's going to happen. When these polls start off, you're not really going to see a whole lot of in there until this story ages a bit. So this is something where I'd really appreciate it if you were doing the polls as you went along, answered these questions, and then stop by again in like 2 or 3 months after this is aged, and I bet these answers will be kind of surprising. I'm very curious to see where we come down. Also, in the comments section, if you have some other questions you'd like to ask, go ahead, and I'm very open about you asking anything you want in the comments as long as you're respectful. And let's see if we can figure this out. What do we have in common? Like, why is this only happening to a group of us? There's so many theories about why this is happening. That's a whole nother video. I don't think I want to get into that on this video. But I would like to see if we have some sort of common thread that will help us make sense. Because if you just woke up to this, it's pretty shocking, and you can even go through some sort of depression, or you can get sick and nauseous. It just rocks your world completely that we're living in some sort of different reality, or what we lived in before was not real. It jolts you a lot. So the way to get through that is to talk to others who are going through it. Know that you're not crazy. There's lots of us going through this, and you're not alone. You don't have to be alone. But let's try to figure it out together. I think the more we work together, maybe we can start solving some pieces of this. Because there's so many theories, and when I'm reading them on the comments section, they all sound plausible. Like, there's 4 or 5 theories I'm sitting here wrestling around with in my head, and maybe it's even a combination of a few of them, because they all sound so plausible, and they kind of resonate with me. They feel right. So I'm not even sure why this is happening. I've got a couple ideas, and I don't think anyone obviously really knows. But I think if we can figure it out together, we have a much better chance. So please at least take this poll. Remember, you can pause it and go back after watching this and just do it. I appreciate your input and your comments. Also, if you're brand new to my channel and you just surfed in here from my other Mandela videos, understand that my channel is a plethora of other information. There's a lot of how-to videos and all kinds of great stuff. So if you want to surf around and take a look at it, I'd appreciate you looking at my other stories. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And the other thing is I have a few private and unlisted videos